Everyone in their world and their mother is trying to find the best PS5 price and PS5 deals. Or even find or see any PS5s, or hear about them, or catch a glimpse of one in the wild. It's not quite the next-gen launch we were hoping for, but at least 2020 gets points for consistency, right? A quick note on Amazon US links. While the console is unavailable, links are landing on the PS5 controller instead, so you might need to press the console button on the listing for the latest info there. It's in a row underneath on the mobile version. These things are sent to test us, and that they are. Just remember to move quickly if you find any. Stock has been very limited, and the console sells out fast across the board. That means you'll need to be ready to pounce if and when stock comes back in. Refresh those store pages every now and then, and keep your fingers crossed. PS5 bundles with games or accessories have been exceptionally rare from most retailers. And a word of warning, if you do see any, make sure you're not actually paying more than the individual items are worth, as we've seen some opportunistically priced PS5 bundles out there from third-party merchants for sure. Ready to jump into next gen? Sign up for email alerts below to make sure you're ahead of the curve when it comes to PS5 stock and deals. The PS5 will be released in the USA, Canada, Japan, Mexico, Australia, New Zealand, and South Korea on November 12th. The rest of the world, including the UK, will get the PS5 a week later on November 19th. The cost of next-gen has become a hot topic over the last few months. Indeed, it feels like we've been waiting forever on a solid price. Thankfully, that time is over. The game of chicken Microsoft and Sony were playing has finally come to an end. You can see the PS5 price for your region below. Sure, some have complained that the PS5's 825GB SSD isn't as big as the 1TB NVMe equivalent in the Xbox Series X, but let's look on the bright side. The PS5 price would be much, much higher if Sony had opted for a larger SSD. In Australia, Amazon will likewise be the most obvious candidate, though JB Hi-Fi and EB Games will also have stock. As far as other big local retailers, Big W is taking expressions of interest, though there's no sign yet as to whether others, like Target and Kmart, will follow suit. Simply put, the PS5 Digital Edition lacks a disk drive and is cheaper than the regular full-fat version. In fact, it's $100 per £90 less expensive. While this isn't an earth-shattering discount, that's because it's otherwise identical. Unlike the Xbox Series X and the entry-level Series S, the PS5 Digital Edition is every bit as powerful as the standard PlayStation 5 console. So far as we can tell, there haven't been any cutbacks in terms of raw specs. That means it can handle every next-gen game in 4K with all the associated benefits. Basically, you're getting the same console without the ability to play physical discs. However, much like with the Xbox One S all digital from the current generation, we can't see this digital alternative being a decent choice. PSN games in most territories cost significantly more than their physical counterparts, obscenely so in the UK, and prices take much longer to drop. Not to mention the fact that you shut yourself out from playing pre-owned games, your old DVDs, and 4K Blu-rays. Hoping for a slightly lower PS5 price. We and our bank balances hear you. However, it's actually fair value when you break everything down. If we were to build the PS5 from components that are on the market right now, it'd be much. Now, onto that SSD. If you go bargain hunting right this second, you'll pay $350 per £300-ish for a 1TB NVMe SSD from the likes of Samsung. Yes, you can go cheaper, but Sony is claiming that the PS5's SSD will outperform all current PC SSDs. As such, $350 per £300 or more is about right. With that in mind, we're already looking at $1,000 per £1,000 plus build. And that's before you take other parts into account. We assume 32GB of RAM at a minimum, a Ryzen 7 equivalent CPU with 8 cores, which we know about, and all the cooling, power, wireless tech, and casing required to keep everything together. That's another $500 to $800, £400 to £700 at least. Then there's the DualSense controller. It contains haptic feedback that's going to replace the traditional vibrations we've had for a long time, increasing immersion in games literally through touch and feel. The adaptive triggers will also seek to offer differing resistance depending on what you're doing in-game, like drawing a bow or driving over gravel. That's bound to increase the PS5 price. This doesn't mean the PS5,